Great things are happening in Clayton County Public Schools. Students studying education from the University of Johannesburg in South Africa recently visited Morrow High School. This is the second year in a row the students' itinerary has included Morrow High School. The visits are coordinated by a partnership between Georgia State, the University of Johannesburg, and Clayton County Public Schools.
Georgia State has a partnership with the University of Johannesburg, just as we have a partnership with Clayton County Public Schools. And so part of that is just like we want all of you to be global students, leaders, learners. So we want to mesh the global relationship between South Africa and those students with the Clayton County students so that you all can come together, meet each other, see each other, and then perhaps as you come into your leadership roles, then you will be able to move forward with those partnerships and relationships years down the road. So that's a piece that Georgia State is very interested in, Clayton County is very interested in, and the university there is very interested in. So that's a part of how they get to come, but then also some Georgia State students get to go to South Africa as well.
The South African students are given the opportunity to tour the school, talk to students and administrators, and share ideas about education. The students from the previous year's tour recommended Morrow High School as being one of the best exchanges of ideas and information they had while touring schools in the Atlanta metro area. And the students on this year's tour got the same warm welcome from Clayton County Public Schools.
My name is Dr. Pitts. I'm the principal of Morrow High School, and you're going to have the opportunity this morning to tour the school. You'll also have the opportunity to ask staff members any questions that you may have.
Part of our mission is to get our students prepared to live in a global society. That you have to have teachers who understand how learning occurs and to build that environment of support and making sure that every child gets what he or she needs. So you have to know, just as in here now, you have different learning styles, different capacities for learning, even though all of you are smart. But there are differences here. And so I cannot create a world where you're not going to recognize that you don't have differences. That would not be true, would it? Our teachers are trained that we bring all children in, and that's in regular classes, in any environment, to know you accept yourself for who you are. And we learn together. And everybody's not going to be on the same page. Okay? And so we have to build that supportive environment then that embraces all learning, all diversities. That's just another diversity.
Some of our students are testing this morning, and you may go into some of the classrooms where they're testing. They are using technology. Clayton County Public Schools is a technology-rich district. So you'll be able to observe some of the students testing using laptops. Every grade level has math, science, English, social studies, and then they have any elective that they want. And right now we're going to walk into a French class.
Great.
Okay?
What grade is it?
Good morning.
So why did you take French and not the other language?
Actually, we have to take a language. We have to take it for 2 years.
Why didn't you take Spanish?
Because French sounded
It's
more.
different.
Are all these instruments supplied by the school, or do they each have to bring their own?
By the school district.
Wow, that is amazing.
Most of their tests now are on the computers. So when they're finished with the test, the teacher will take the laptops up, but they have computers inside of the classroom that can assist them with what they're doing.
So does every class have a laptop?
Every class is equipped to have laptops.
And then with some of our schools, you have to be able to play a certain sport in order to be accepted. Yo, I play netball, but you guys don't know what netball is. It's like basketball, but it's girls in like really short skirts that cannot move when they catch the ball. But you like because the US just won the biggest netball league challenge.
Yet none of the Americans know
None of you
what
guys
netball
know what
is.
netball is. Pardon? Netball. NETBALL.
Would you like to know what part of their teacher they are from?
Yeah.
She wants to know what part of Africa each of you are from.
Okay, so we're all from South Africa, but I'm from a province called Bulugwane, Limpopo province.
And by province, you guys call it a state.
Yeah.
But I'm from Johannesburg.
I'm from Mpumalanga.
I'm from KZN.
No, I'm from Gauteng.
I'm from KwaZulu Natal, you know, where Shaka Zulu was.
English is the base language, so most people can speak English, but we all, like all of us here have different languages, because we all come from different tribal groups. So I'll speak maybe, so what happens is that like you will learn your tribal language, but at some point in school you will be forced to learn English because none of our universities teach in the tribal languages. So you kind of have to make the transition. So for me, from grade 1 I had English, but some schools will only teach English when you get to 8th grade. You have to start transitioning that time. But you have to learn English, otherwise you can't go to university because our universities are only in English.
Just to add that without you not forced to take English as a first language, English is my 5th language that I speak.
But at school is your second language.
Yes,
Yeah.
as an English speaker, it's my 5th language, but as writing and reading, it's my 2nd language. How do you guys feel about taking history? Because I know that at your age, I hated history.
I think it depends on like what type of teacher you have, because some teachers are like just put the work up on the board and be like copy this and then go ahead and give you the text the next day. If you have a teacher like we have, he likes to interact with the classroom and ask questions and make it fun to participate.
Yes.
I feel like this, because we're in America, I feel like this is one of the most relevant classes because we have to know who's on the dollar bill, and this is like real life stuff that we go through, so.
How many years?
This is my third year.
Your
Wow. And how you find it?
How am I finding what?
Like the whole
I
time?
love it. I love science.
I just asked a bit deeper, what's your lesson plan? How do you prepare? Do you prepare it like a week ahead? Do you prepare like a semester? Because with us, before you go into the classroom, they need to see your lesson plan at least every single day. We have to show this is what I'm going to do. Like, what
We're 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we always turn our lesson plans on every our first Friday and fourth Friday of the month.
And does your state tell you
Yes, we have a curriculum, a district curriculum.
with the time frame,
Yes.
what you need to focus on, what's going to be on the test, and everything?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
The thing that I'm taking away the most is just the students' eagerness to learn. They're really interested in what the teachers are saying. They're super interactive with the teachers, and just the systems of the school, the resources are really great. They've got brilliant resources. The teachers seem really willing to teach. They I was there for a little bit, but all of them seemed like they were really willing to teach, and they really loved the job that they were doing. And yeah, the resource, I'm overwhelmed by the resources. That was really great. Our public schools are really under-resourced. There'll be no computer labs, there'll be no libraries, there'll be no posters in the classroom. From small things like posters, there'll be no chalkboards sometimes. Sometimes they will be, but sometimes they won't be. So public schools are never as excellent. You'd find this type of equipment in a private school, not in a public school.
What would you take away from this? What kind of stuff would you like to implement and see happen from the experiences you had here that you can take and put into real world experience?
Okay, So what I would take from here would be definitely the technology, the use of technology in the classroom. I think I'd like to inspire more of that when I get back home. But more than that, I think the discipline that the children have, I think the classroom management, the teachers always have an invitation, and invitation phase is almost the introduction phase. So they always come with an engaging introductory phase. Every single before a class, they try and engage the students first. They don't just walk in and be like, oh, morning, let's teach. So I think I'm always have an engaging phase because the students tend to listen more once you have an engaging phase. Yeah. You guys have lunch that you guys give them for free. We don't have that. So our kids still come to school hungry. You guys have school counselors, we don't have that, so our kids, no one's helping them deal with their problems. So the similarities are we have the same social issues, but the difference is that you guys have kind of formulated solutions around them and we're not at the solution phase yet. We haven't come up with. You see basically what can be done. So it's a way of seeing that it's the same problem and we get to see the solutions now that we're here. Because when you're back home, it's very hard to see a solution. You feel like you're hopeless. But once you actually see someone implementing a solution, you're like, I can do this, I can do that, yeah. So
my initial impression was that your public schools, they look like more like our private schools with the technology that you guys have. You have so many resources. I find that the students, they find what's similar between the students is that they're all faced with the same challenges. So even in South Africa, you have students that are faced with challenges like coming from a poor background, coming to education, not being able to concentrate. Those are the similarities. But the difference would be the ego of the student to come to school. Most of our students are not that much motivated to come to school, unlike here. In the class that we just went to, the science class, I was really impressed about how the teacher introduces the lesson with the warm-up practice programs that actually you inviting the kids into the class. That for me, it's very brilliant. Even though I prefer teaching mathematics to science, I will use that. I'll definitely use it in my class to invite my kids and engage with my kids. You come out of your comfort zone in your country, you go to this culture that is different from your culture. You learn different things that makes you reflect upon your own experiences as a learner and as a student, and how you could have been better as a learner. We call student learners, but then how can you make your students as a teacher to be better student and complete globally, as this exchange has given us a global experience. Now we can actually match up the standard of teaching here back to our own schools.
My impressions of the visitors from Johannesburg, South Africa, I was most impressed that they saw a culture of building capacity with our students. They saw a technology-rich environment. They shared that they appreciated the diversity, and they thought it very fascinating that we included students with disabilities. They also thought that it was very fascinating and interesting how the rooms were decorated. They were very impressed that our students were not afraid to make mistakes. And they commented on the physical science classes that even when students were demonstrating lessons and made mistakes, other students were very supportive. They commented on the musical instruments used in our orchestra classes, and they thought that our students were very respectful, which is what we are very proud of because we are a PBIS school. They heard the students talk about some of the beatitudes that we have here at Morrow High School, being a positive behavior intervention strategy school. It is very important for us here at Morrow High School to share global knowledge with not only the students inside of our state, our nation, our school, but with other leaders and other people like the visitors that we had here today in South Africa. We can all build capacity with each other. Here at Morrow High School, we have a rich cultural background. We like to think of ourselves as multicultural. Inside all of our classes, inside of the hallways, inside of the cafeteria, you can see a student or a staff member from various cultural backgrounds, and that makes the big difference in what we've seen in a lot of our standardized test scores, because our students have a cultural awareness and they build capacity from learning from other students, and it makes the lessons that they learn inside of their books come to life.
Great things are happening in Clayton County Public Schools.